Hey guys, today we're going to do the product rule. To start, the product rule. So there's a fancy way to write it, but I'm just gonna write it the easiest I think. So it's gonna be f prime g plus g prime f. What does this mean? F prime means the derivative of f. G is just the function g, and then g prime is the derivative of g, and then f. Okay, so this is a multiplication here, addition, and then multiplication. So the easiest way to do it is by doing an example. So the thing is that it's easier to use this when you have a multiplication like this. We have f of x is equal to 9x squared plus 4x times x cubed minus 5x squared. Okay, now this f of x has nothing to do with this f. This is what we mean. Look, we're gonna call this function f, this thing we're gonna call f, and this thing we're gonna call g. Okay, so this is our f and this is our g. Now for every problem, what I like to do is copy the formula. So f prime g plus g prime f. Okay, cool. So what does this mean? What is the first thing we gotta do? Take the derivative of f. So the derivative of this thing. So 9x squared, the derivative of 9x squared would be 18x. And then plus the derivative of 4x is just 4. Okay? This is f prime. Okay, we're done with f prime. What do we need now? G. What does that mean? Just copy this. Okay. X cubed minus 5x squared. Okay, this is G. Are we done? No. We have a big plus. So big plus here. And then what's next? Take the derivative of G. The derivative of G would be, what's the derivative of x cubed? Would be 3x squared minus, and the derivative of 5x squared would be 10x. Are we done? No, this is g prime. What do we need? F. What is f? This. So this would be 9x squared plus 4x. Okay? What is this? F. Just to double check, look, you have f prime g plus g prime and then f. Okay, once you have that, for the purpose of this, let's see, yeah, I'm just gonna ask you guys to leave it like this. So this is gonna be your answer. Okay, because the other thing we can do is simplify, but I already know you guys can multiply. So you will multiply 18x times x cubed, and then 18x times 5x squared, and then 4 times x cubed, and then 4 times negative 5x squared, and so on. Okay, but we don't have time to do that. You guys already know how to distribute. Okay, let's go with example 2. I have, let me do an easy one because this one is hard. Okay, just so you see, I'm gonna call this g of x. This is gonna be x squared plus 3x4 times x3 plus 2x5. Okay, the reason why I'm calling this g is so you know that this is just the name of the function. We're still gonna call this f, and we're still gonna call this g. Okay, so what's the first step? Copy the formula. F prime g plus g prime f. Okay. First step, take the derivative of f. Okay. The derivative of this. What is the derivative of x squared? 2x. There's a mistake that people make is that when they take the derivative, they just take the derivative of the first term and they forget the next one. You gotta take the derivative of the whole f, the whole thing here. Okay? So the derivative of x squared is 2x. You have a plus. And then you have a 3x squared. The derivative of that would be 12x3, 12x cubed. Put it in parentheses. This is f prime. What else do we need? G. Copy G. Okay? G is just x cubed plus 2x5. Okay? What's next? This is G. I have a plus sign. Big plus. Now we need the derivative of G. So G is this right here. The derivative of x cubed, 3x squared. The derivative of, we have a plus. The derivative of 2x5, 10x4. What's next? So this is G prime. What's next? We just need f. So we just copy f, which would be x squared plus 3x4. Okay? And then we double check. We have f prime. Here it is. Multiply it times g. How do we get g? Well, g is given right here. Plus g prime. That means take the derivative of this, which is this one here. That's g prime. And then f, which means copy this. Okay, once you have the four terms, that's our answer. Cool? Okay. Let's see. If you don't understand, you can go back and rewind the video. I'm gonna do example 3. Sorry. Okay, example 3. This one is a little bit more fun. Y equals, I have square root of x plus 4 times the cube root of x times x to the 5th minus 11x8. Okay, same thing. This is f, this is g. I think only 2 people went to my tutoring yesterday and we were doing radicals. So just so you know, to take the derivative of square root of x, it's easier to change it to x to the 1/2. Okay, so instead of having this, we have this. So when we take the derivative of that, the derivative of x to the 1/2, you bring down the 1/2, you copy the letter, you subtract 1. So 1/2 minus 1, put a 2, 2, that will be negative 1/2. That's the derivative of x squared. And when you simplify it, you get 1 over 2 square root of x. Okay, so remember our formula, f prime g plus g prime f. So the derivative of square root of x is this one. So 1 over 2 square root of x. Now we need to take the derivative of this. Let me do it here. So look, we have this cube root of x. This is the same thing as 4x to the 1/3. Okay, when you have a cube root, the 3 goes to the bottom. So you have 4x to the 1/3. That's a 4. Okay, 4x to the 1/3. So bring down the 1/3. So now you have 4 over 3. When you multiply 4 times 1, you have the x, and then subtract 1. So put a 3. So put a 3 on the bottom, 3 at the top. That's gonna be minus 2/3. Minus 2/3. Okay. So the letter goes on the bottom with the 3. So I have a plus. So this would be 4 over 3. And then you have the cube root of x squared. Oops, you guys didn't see that. Okay, so next to the 1 over 2 square root of x, I put the 4 over 3. And then the cube root, that's the little cube. the cube root of x squared. Okay. Let me show you an easy way to memorize that. Wait, let me finish the problem and I'll show you right now. Okay, this is f prime. Now we need to copy g, which is this. Bless me, thank you. 11x to the 8. That's just g, right? Copy g. And then big plus. Now we need to take the derivative of g. That should be easy. The derivative of x5 is 5x4. I have a minus. So it will be 88x to the 7. Am I done? No, I just did. This is g, this is g prime. So I need f. F would be this. So we just write it. Square root of x plus 4 and then cube root of x. So this would be our answer. Double check, do you have everything? F prime g plus g prime f. Cool? Okay, let me give you a little review of fractions. Look, this is the easiest way that I learned how to do it is this. Look, I know that the square root of x is the same thing as x to the 1/2. How do I know that? The square root sign has a little 2 here. We don't write it because we already know. And then the exponent of the x is 1. Okay, that's how I know that the exponent here goes at the top and the number outside the radical goes at the bottom. Okay, just to give you another example, if you have a cube root of x, this becomes x, the exponent here is 1, so 1 over 3. Okay, so you see, so now let's say I have x to the, I have the 5th root of x to the 4. So somebody would say, but I don't know which one goes at the top. Well, it's easy. Remember this, the inside number goes at the top. The inside number goes at the top. So x to the 4, and then the outside number goes on the bottom. That's how you remember. Okay, let's do another one. So I have the cube root of x squared. How does that go? Well, this is x to the 2 over 3. The same thing if you go the other way around. Let's say I have x to the 7 over 5. How do I write this into using a radical sign? Well, put your radical and put the letter. Okay. So the bottom number, if you remember this, the bottom number goes outside. So the bottom number goes outside, and the top number goes inside. Okay. So believe me, every time I wanted to do this, I still do it. Sometimes I get confused which one goes inside. I do this all the time in my notes. So that way I know which one goes where. Cool? Alright, let's go to example, 4? Wow, this one's cool. Yeah, I'm gonna do this one. So this is like one of the hardest problems. So I have 1 over x plus 1 over x squared minus 1 over x cubed times 1 over x minus 1 over x cubed plus 1 over x to the 5. Okay, so this is a purposely difficult problem. A purposely difficult problem. The first thing we're gonna do is change this to, we need to bring the letters to the top. How do we do that? You just flip the signs. So this is gonna be x to the minus 1 plus x to the minus 2 minus x to the minus 3. If you don't know how to do this, you should have come to my tutoring today, but I mean yesterday, Wednesday, but you didn't. So minus 1, I have a minus minus x to the minus 3 plus x to the minus 5. The reason why we bring them to the top is because it's way easier to take the derivative of this than to take the derivative of this. This is going to be our f, this is going to be our g. Okay? Okay, first thing, copy the formula. F prime g plus g prime f. Okay? So what do we need to do first? Take the derivative of f, the derivative of this thing. Okay? Something very important. People forget when they bring down the exponent, they forget the sign. So just keep that in mind. So bring down the exponent, that means I'm going to bring down negative 1. Bring down the exponent, copy the letter, subtract 1. Negative 1 minus 1 will be negative 2. Okay, look at this one. When you bring down the negative 2, you replace the positive with that negative 2. So this will be negative 2, copy the letter, subtract 1. Negative 2 minus 1, negative 3. Look at this one. When you bring the negative down and this negative, they become positive. So positive x, and then, oops, my bad. Positive, what was it, 3? Positive 3, copy the letter, subtract 1. Negative 3 minus 1, negative 4. Okay? So that's our f prime. What's next? Copy g. So g is this one here. So x minus 1 minus x to the minus 3 plus x to the minus 5. Okay? This is our g. Plus, this is our plus right here. What's next? Take the derivative of g. Again, look, we already did this one. It's the same thing. So we have negative 1. Why do I keep putting negative? Well, it's the same thing. So negative 1x to the minus 2. Negative plus 3x to the minus 4 minus 5x to the minus 6. And then this is what? G prime. And then I need to put f right here. I'm going to make it really small because I don't have space. X to the minus 1 plus x to the minus 2 minus x to the minus 3. That's our f. Double check. F prime g plus g prime f. Okay? And then we can just leave it like that. You're more than welcome to multiply this out just for fun if you want to do it. Do I want to do it? Not really. Okay, so those are, if you understand these examples, then we're good with the product rule. Okay? So that's about it. Now look, so you know product means multiplication. So if we did the product, then we need to do the quotient rule. Okay? Now look, in my case, there's a way to teach this, but I would always get confused. So what I did was I made it my own. So the people that had Abarca last year are gonna see it differently, but you can always do it the same way that Abarca taught you. It's the same thing. The only thing is that some of the terms are gonna be flipped. But for example, this is what I do. The thing is that in the quotient rule, this would flip and you will have a minus sign. So what I did, I just did this. So f prime g minus g prime f. So that's what I do. So the same thing as the product rule, but with a minus sign. So f prime g minus g prime f, and then over g squared. Okay? Cool? Okay, so this is the quotient rule right here. Let's do example 1. So example 1, I have f of x equals, should I do a, Let me do a simple one for the beginning. Let's do x squared minus x over x cubed minus 3x squared. Okay. Now look, you see how you have f and g? So the f is going to be the top and g is going to be the bottom. And then you follow the formula. So the derivative of f, that means the derivative of the top. Okay, so the derivative of the top will be 2x minus 1, right? Okay. And then what? Multiply it times g. This is g. So x cubed minus 3x squared. What do I have next? Minus, open parentheses because that minus is going to change everything. Then is the derivative of the bottom, g. So I get 3x squared minus, that's what, 6x. Okay, what's next? F. What is f? This one. X squared minus x. Okay, are we missing something? Yeah, the denominator. Denominator will be g squared. Well, it's this thing and then you square it. So you just leave it like this. So x cubed minus 3x squared and then quantity cubed. I mean square. What am I doing? Square. Okay. So just to go over it again. Look, this is f prime, the derivative of that, and then you copy g. You see? Okay, that's the first part. F prime g. Then I have a minus sign. Then I need to take the derivative of g, which is this. So this is g prime, right? 3x squared minus 6x. What's next? F. So it's this one. You see? And then this is g squared, which is this, and then you square the whole thing. Okay? And that's it. So we just leave it like this. Look, the only thing that you have to be able to do is, for example, if you're doing a multiple choice question and they give you this problem, but the answer doesn't look like this, and they have less terms, then that means that they multiply this together. Okay, so then you will have to distribute the whole thing. All right, cool. Example número 2. Let's see. Okay, let me do this one. I have f of x equals x to the 5th minus 3x to the 4th over x squared plus 7x. Okay? Again, what is the first thing I want to do? Copy the formula. F prime g minus g prime f over g squared. Okay, first thing, take the derivative of f. I'm going to do it right here, which is 5x to the 4 minus, what is that, 12x cubed. Okay, then copy g. X squared plus 7x minus, parentheses, the derivative of the bottom, 2x plus 7, okay, and then f, x to the 5th minus 3x4. Okay, what's next? The bottom square. X squared plus 7x quantity squared. Ta-da! Wait, I don't know if I did it right. Okay, let's check. This was f and this was g. What is the first thing we needed to do? F prime. Okay, double check. Is this the derivative? 5x4 minus 12x3. Okay, I got f prime. What's next? Copy g. Okay, there's g. So look, f prime g minus g prime. The derivative of x squared, 2x. The derivative of 7x, 7. G prime. What's next? F. And then g squared. Okay? Piece of cake. Okay, let's do a fun one. So this is pretty simple. Um, there's no way you can make a mistake if you just follow the formula. You see how I'm doing it with my fingers? That's how you're supposed to do it. So you always write the formula for every problem, okay? Some people, they think that they're cool and they're like, oh, I'm just gonna put it at the top. You're not gonna remember it. For every problem, copy the formula, okay? That way you can see what you're doing. What is the first thing? I need to take the derivative of the top. Okay. What's next? Copy the bottom. Some people, one of the questions is, how come you didn't take the derivative of the bottom? Well, this here says G, not G prime. So you see the importance of having the formula and following it with your fingers. Look, let's do it. This is going to be a little bit more difficult example. I have y equals x to the minus 3 minus x to the minus 8 over x to the minus 2 plus x to the minus 6. Okay, so purposely they're doing it a little bit more difficult. Okay, look, what is the first step? Copy the formula. F prime g minus g prime f over g squared. Okay, the top is f, the bottom is g. What is the first thing? Take the derivative of the top. Be careful with the signs. The derivative of x cubed, x to the minus cube, x to the minus 3 would be negative 3x, and then subtract 1 is negative 4. I have a minus, but when I bring down this negative 8, it's going to be plus 8x to the minus 9. Subtract 1, right? That's f prime. What's next? G. Okay, I just copy this. X to the minus 2 plus x to the minus 6. Look, I'm going to put it right here. F prime G. Okay, what's next? Minus. Big minus, so you don't get confused. Anytime you have a minus sign, put a parenthesis because you might get confused. Okay, what's next? Take the derivative of the bottom, okay? Negative 2x to the minus 3 minus 6x to the minus 7. That's it, okay? This is g prime. What's next? F, down, okay? X to the minus 3 minus x to the minus 8. F, okay? Am I done with the top? F prime g minus g prime f, okay? And then over x to the minus 2 plus x to the minus 6 quantity squared. And this is your answer. Cool? Okay, I'm gonna do the last example. And then remember, you guys can always go back to the rewind the video, check, see if there's something you're missing, check again, and if there's something you don't understand, then you can text me. Okay, I have y equals 3x plus 5 over 5x minus 3. Okay, first step, copy the formula, f prime g minus, see what I mean? G prime f over g squared. F prime g minus g prime f. Okay, this is f, this is g. Take the derivative of the top. The derivative of 3x is just 3. What is the derivative of 5? That's 0. Okay, so our f prime is this. What's next? Copy g. 5x minus 3. Okay, so look, I have f prime, I have g, big minus. What's next? The derivative of the bottom. What's the derivative of the bottom? 5. That's it. Okay, and then what? F 3x plus 5. Okay, you see, g prime f. Am I done? F prime g minus g prime f. Okay, and then denominator 5x to the minus 3 quantity squared. That's it. Cool. All right, so what was I gonna say? Okay, so based on these examples, you should be able to do the work. And if there's something you don't understand, you can text me, and hopefully I can see your message right away, and I'll text you back. Cool. Okay.